It's time for the Unused subs to kick off another episode from our exceptional home ground of Tyler Street Sport. And in Kiwi Derby week, here's who makes up our powerful bench. Jacob Spoonley. Myself, Goran Paladin. And Wellington Phoenix agitator, public enemy number one, Corban Piper. Kiwi Derby week, the second of the season, and myself and Jacob just figured, well, why not just give the people what they want? Corban Piper in New Zealand Derby week. Mr. Piper, how are you feeling ahead of the second match of the season against Auckland FC, man?
Yeah, stoked. Honestly, I can't wait for it. Last derby was a good one for me. I enjoyed it apart from the result, but yeah, I really enjoyed my half that I got, and I'm ready for this one.
Yeah, I think the New Zealand football public knows that you really enjoyed that match last time out.
I reckon he's become Mr. Derby, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You seem to be the player that embodies the derby.
Not Mr. Derby. It's almost like heading into this one, you're kind of like public enemy number one in the eyes of the Port and Auckland FC, given what happened. But how does that sort of tag sit on your shoulders?
I weirdly like it, you know, like I like kind of having that sort of thing against me, you know, it kind of drives me to do better, and yeah, like I'm all for that sort of thing, and I think football's a sport where without that, it's dead.
You seem to be a sort of player that, and I mean this in a respectful way, you push back against something that's pushing against you, mate. You seem to need that as part of the game, and you got that in spades in that first derby.
Yeah, I think I've been a Burko boy my whole life with Paul Hobson, and I think he's just really, you know, like pushed that into me at such a young age. Like he's a no nonsense sort of gaffer, you know. Like he said, if someone pushes you, you push them back, you know. So I think it's just purely from him and playing at Birkenhead's given me that sort of like fight.
But is he telling that to everybody, or just the guys who stand 1.88 m and probably weighing in at 85 to 90 kilos?
Yeah, honestly,
the ability to push back differs, doesn't it?
That's right. Like if you're 5'2", he's not going to go in there and start a ruckus.
No, well, honestly, I think he does drive it into everyone. Like you'll see small players that play for Burko, they're still little snappy guys, you know, like they'll still put in the tackle and everything like that. So it's the whole team, yeah, for sure.
Coming back to the present, because I mean, Hobbo's had far too much airtime in the last two
weeks.
I didn't realise we were going to do Burko back to back.
Well, there's a chance we might get Alex Grieve next week as well. It'll be the triple header.
But your game, like everyone, it's eye-catching, your combativeness, the physicality, how you stretch opponents. But your game's a bit more than that, isn't it? I mean, you've been a player that's played in a number of different positions, but there's a technical side to you that you're hoping to put to the floor, and this is the best canvas for that.
Yeah, I do. I know that I'm not the most technical player in the world, you know, like I'm well aware of it, and the fans make sure I know that. But like, I try and make up for it, you know, like I work hard. I try to use my physicality to my strengths, you know, and yeah, I guess it's just, yeah.
I mean, the beauty of a New Zealand football audience, or football audiences in general, is that they're very creative with their information towards the players. So how are they informing you that you aren't the most technical of footballers?
What's the feedback
what are they saying?
Either with the Port or the Aussies. I mean, the Aussies aren't short of a quick response either.
Yeah, no, I do get lots of messages. I get little Twitter comments, and they'll pop up on my For You on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't want to see that, you know, like what? But Twitter wants me to see it, so yeah, no, it's that's how I receive those sort of things.
Like a suggested comment for Corban Piper. Yeah. These guys are directing a message at you, mate. Do you want to have a look?
Hey, Corban, you're really popular in Melbourne at the moment. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, you know, like, no, I don't want to know why, you know. It's like,
hey, just looking at the game on the weekend, mate, and appreciate a good view in the first half, and then we're part of the battle in the second, but on the runway into the derby, there was a slight wrinkle, and felt like perhaps you got a bit more of a balance in this Wellington Phoenix side, but there's also an acknowledgement in that you haven't necessarily had the horses at this point. No Paolo Retro, Tim Payne's out. You've obviously been managing your minutes. Is this, or do we see in the weekend perhaps more of the side that Chiefy is envisaging with this iteration of the Wellington Phoenix?
I think the boys are, hungrier than ever. Like, we're going to use this win with Adelaide to just roll on to the next derby, and we're just going to honestly just go for it. We got nothing to lose. We got, obviously, we're all very keen to win the next derby at their home and, take the win back to Wellington.
I reckon we'll cycle back to the derby chat because you've opened up the Pandora's box of last weekend. Carlo Armiento, you've just got to get this guy the ball because we've all seen in the last few weeks what he can do, running at defenders. He's got that lethal left peg as well. Yeah. And at the weekend, he creates the penalty. He almost scores one. What's that?
No, thank you, because I'm trying to remember what he did in the weekend. Sorry, I got
you were so busy, mate. You were so busy. You had a couple of football games.
Keep going.
So he wins the penalty with a bit of creativity in the box. He almost scores just after half time, like 20 seconds in. How important is he to the Phoenix cause, Corban?
Oh, honestly, Carlo's been great. Like, the stats don't lie, like he's scored 2, and I think he's almost got a couple of shots on target every single game. And yeah, the left foot's very dangerous because, it's rare to have a person that can strike a ball like that with a left foot. It's usually a right footer or anything. So left footers are quite rare. And Carlo's been quality. And we honestly try to get him on the ball as much as possible. He, will just turn and shoot out of the most random places as well. Like I sort of yell at him sometimes for not crossing it. But like at the same time, I'm not mad when he shoots, because most of the time it's on target or it's, puts the keeper under pressure.
And talk to us about the celebration, because after Nazarene slotted that penalty to make it 2-0, Carlo and him seemed to jump up. And I'll be honest, mate, they had to jump up because they're not the most gifted in terms of height onto the hoardings. So was that planned? Was that something that the side had talked about?
I don't know. I know those two are quite close, but I think it's Garnacho and Kobe Maino's celebration that they tried to do. I don't know if they planned it or not, but yeah, it was a good photo, But I think Carlo struggled to get on the board because he's so short.
Needed a step ladder, huh?
Yeah. I think they needed to plan it in advance with like a little ladder for him or something.
Well, at the opposite end of the spectrum, from short to tall, Lucas Kelly-Heald was adjudged to have brought down Yaya Dakuli in the box. And one of the huge gripes for football fans and players and management alike is VAR and its interjection when they ultimately get it wrong. Or maybe they should come in and they don't, or maybe they do come in and they shouldn't. But they got it spot on in this moment, and Dakuli was eventually yellow carded for simulation spoon. That was actually really good to see, eh?
I think that's the value in VAR. And Corban, were you on the field at that point?
No, just before I came on.
So I think for everyone on the ground, it was pretty convincing, right? Like, Lucas got baited into making a challenge, perhaps one he didn't need to make, but that comes with being a young defender. And then Dakuli goes to ground. I thought 12 yards out, we're going to be looking at Josh needing to come up with a save. It looked
super convincing.
And then the low angle, and I'll give Normie, the cameraman, massive props here because he zeroed in on it and he got it absolutely spot on and was able to provide evidence that if there was any contact, it was after Yaya was going down. But I do have some sympathy for him here. I don't think it's just simulation kind of in its purest form. I think Yaya could feel the challenge coming, and perhaps he just got the timing slightly wrong on ensuring that...
It's a dive spoon. You're dancing around it, mate, but he dived. There was no contact. He was playing for contact. Corban, back me up here, mate. He's playing for contact, and there was none.
Corban, be very careful here, mate, because...
No, I'm all for VAR, honestly, because if that was me that made the tackle and there was no VAR, I'd be, fuming. So I'm glad that that's a thing.
There's one little thing that keeps on raising its ugly head when it comes to the Phoenix, and that is the constant discussion about the high line.
Your favourite words, right, Corban?
Yeah, high and line.
Yeah. We're not sick of it, trust me.
No. You enjoy the system, though, eh?
Yeah. No, I think it's a great idea, like the boys, once we master it, and it's getting better every single week, but once we master it, I truly think it'll be hard to score against us.
Are you stoked that you're playing as a striker and not a central defender, though?
Buzzing, honestly. Honestly buzzing with that, yeah. What a time to change position, eh?
Yeah, because you've been all over the place, mate. Not just at the Phoenix, but previously at Birkenhead United, you played as a central defensive midfielder, an attacking midfielder. You were signed for the Wellington Phoenix as central defensive cover by Chiefy a little more than a year ago, but here you are as a striker. How does that work for you personally? Because it's not like you're training and playing in one position permanently. Is it confusing at times when you're here, there, and everywhere?
Yeah, last year was a lot of information to take in. Like it was. I had to know what the right mid was doing. I had to know what the right back was doing. The centre mid, the centre back, and striker at the end of the year. So it was a lot to take in at one point.
Yeah.
But this season, thankfully, I've stuck to one position. I think I will stick to this position for the remainder of the season.
Just to confirm what that is for the audience at home, Corban?
Striker. Yeah,
Thank you, there we go.
striker. And so it's been a lot easier to take in information, rather than like worrying about a whole lot of different for like positions and things like that. So yeah, it's thankfully I think it's come to an end, but you never know what position I might fall into,
Well, it's something that you've had for a long time, right? I think, you've missed out a very, very important phase of Corban's development, which was when he was under the tutelage of Chris Bright and Jacob Spurnley in the Auckland City youth ranks.
Oh, God, it was just a matter of time, wasn't it, Corban?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. I'll pick that up later, Corban.
Well, what are we, 10, 15 minutes in? It finally comes out. Oh, I'm surprised it wasn't the first thing out of his mouth.
This was like 10 years ago as well, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Very influential, Corban, right? Thank you for acknowledging that. But, mate, you played in that side as a centre-back, as a defensive midfielder, and I think we employed you up top as well. So it seems to be something that has been part of your game for a while. The other side to it is that fatiguing? Because you do see with certain players, if they don't have a defined position, then you don't necessarily know where they work into an 11.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it is very fatiguing. Like, even in Ireland, when I went over and played there, I started off playing defensively as a 6 centre back, and then at the end of the season, I was a 10. And it's a lot. Like I said before, it's a lot to take in. Like getting told all these different information, and then like
different fitness as well, Corban.
Yeah, and then like having to completely reverse that into a defensive mind and switch off everything that I learnt last week about attacking and put it into defensive. It does get quite draining, and
I think Griff wanted you to play as centre-back, right, and you got recruited as that initially. He's now over at Perth and doing a decent job as an interim manager. Chiefy has deployed you in several different positions. Hobbo had you as a number 10, I think, playing in behind a central striker. What do you want to play as, mate?
That's the $1 million question, eh? Like I honestly wish I knew, but I'm really enjoying striker at the moment, and I just have to believe that what Chiefy's doing with me and putting me in that position, I just need to believe that that's the right choice and the right decision. And at the moment, all I'm doing is focusing on being the best striker I can, because that's what I've been told that I'm going to do this season. So for now, striker, yeah.
What I'm hearing is he's eating at the buffet. Gee.
Well, I want to ask that question, but with a slight twist. Where do you think you've played your best football positionally? Because, okay, Chiefy's saying right now you're a striker, but where have you felt most comfortable and produced your best ever football? Whether it's with the Knicks or with Hibiscus Coast or under the tutelage of the Spoon. Yeah. So what position?
It's a tough question, because when you compare the quality and level of football, it's all very well for me to go play right wing in the Northern League, but playing right wing and for the Phoenix is completely different, because the quality of players and standards, like some players in the A-League won't allow me to play good at right mid, but the people in Northern League will allow me to look like Neymar sometimes, So like, it's a hard decision, but I do think most of my life I've played as a central defensive midfielder, and I think growing up I played there most of my life, and that's where I believe I did play best growing up. But as I got older, I think Birkenhead, my last season there, I had one of the best seasons I've had in football, So yeah, it's a tough question, honestly, and I don't think I can answer it fully, but yeah.
Kind of rewinding now, we're going back through the layers. But your Hibiscus Coast team was a pretty stacked side. We've heard
Yeah.
that Dan Edwards is a Hibiscus Coast boy, so you've got a teammate
Yeah.
there. But Ben Old, did a lot of your
Yeah.
football growing up with Oldie?
Yeah, yeah, me and Oldie, yeah. My mum actually originally scouted him. She was the manager of Hibiscus Coast. My mum takes full credit for Ben Old's football career. She thinks it
Really?
was all him.
She's claiming
All her,
royalties.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. She scouted him from Forest Hill.
The
club Forest
PGA
Hill.
the PGA is going to come knocking, mate, because they lost a golfer.
Yeah, oh, honestly, and she scouted him to come play for Hibiscus Coast, which was the best team on, I think, in the North Shore, maybe even Auckland at the time. And yeah, me and Ben Old went from Hibiscus to North Shore, played school footy together, and then he came down to the Phoenix and I went to Burko.
And was that frustrating, mate? Because you've mentioned that you spent some time in Ireland. Obviously, there wasn't a team up in Auckland at the point where you wanted to play your football here. But you've kind of had to go a bit of an indirect way to professional football and to the A-League.
Yeah, so the thing with me is, I think it was year 9 or year 10, I actually got offered the Scots deal with the Phoenix to come down to the academy, and I declined it simply because I don't think I was ready to move out of home yet. I was still young. I was enjoying being in Auckland, and yes, I guess, like you said, I did have to take the alternative route, which led me to Ireland. Ireland was quite a struggle for me. Like, the football was great and everything, but I was quite secluded and by myself for quite a long time. Like, I think it was 11 months I was over there by myself. So yeah, I do think I should have taken the Phoenix Academy deal back in the day, because who knows where I would have ended up now. But yeah, I got here eventually.
And that's the most important thing. I'm sort of cracking up to myself here listening to your talk, Corban, because you didn't want to leave home to go to Wellington, but you happily went to Ireland halfway around the world.
Yeah, to Wexford, right?
I know. Yeah, in Wexford, it's the middle of nowhere, but I think I was too young at the time to leave home, because when I went to Wexford, I was like 19, 20, so I was a bit more grown up, and I didn't have much holding me back here. But at such a young age, you have family, friends that you want to stay back for. But yeah.
Just going back to the oldie connection, I feel like, in New Zealand, they talk about 6 degrees of separation, but in New Zealand, it's more like 2 or 3, and you sort of max out. But my wife taught oldie at primary school, and so our family know his family a little bit. But obviously, you having played with him, is there like an admiration and a pride that comes with seeing him go off to France and play with Saint Etienne, or is there a competitive nature that exists between you guys, and you go, shit, I wish that was me, and I'm sort of like doing the Phoenix thing a few years behind Oldie? Do you get what I'm saying there?
Yeah, 100%. No, there's no, like, I have no sort of, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Animosity?
Yeah, like, I love seeing Oldie succeed, and it's great. Me and my mum still follow everything that he does, and
she's calculating the royalties, Corban. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's got the calculator out, like, oh yeah, there we go. There's another $100.
She's asking for a percentage now. No, honestly, like, we love seeing Oldie succeed, and like I said, we follow him religiously every week. Mum's always searching him up and seeing how he's going and stuff like that. She messages him. We're still in contact with his mum. We like to. I talk to Oldie all the time about the osseous pubis, because he had the same sort of injury, so he's given me some tips on that. And every footballer has their own sort of path, and hopefully mine eventually turns out as good as Oldie's. But yeah,
we'll get to the osteopubis in a second, mate. But just coming back to it, you've answered that really well, but is there a positive competition? Because I'll tell you what, when we had Oldie and AP on the pod, there was a bit of tension there in terms of like how their careers are progressing, but in a really positive way. Like, they were competitive to be ambitious, if that makes sense.
Oh, of course, like seeing what Oldie's doing, even AP, like I'm mates with AP, seeing what they're doing for their career and everything is honestly inspiring. Like, yeah, everyone wants to do what they're doing right now, you know, like they're over in Europe playing for top clubs, doing really well, and it's inspiring, you know.
Oldie's pretty small. I think we can all agree on that. He's a tiny
Yeah,
little
yeah,
guy, and I reckon you've always been a bit of a monster, Corbin. So growing up through the grades, were you his protector at Hibiscus
Oh,
Coast?
you reckon that's where it
yeah.
started?
Yeah, no, honestly, like, yeah, I was like his big brother, you know, and he was like the little brother. We even stayed the night at each other's houses before school, you know, because we could go to the turf and work on football together and stuff like that. And it's just easier to do it that way. And you know, we like to scam the parents into letting us have a sleepover as well. You know, we gave them the
Yes.
old. We're working on football, you know, so we could stay the night and play FIFA all night, you know.
Clever.
But yeah,
That's
Yeah.
good
yeah, it's
research from you,
smart, you
Corbin.
know.
Very
Yeah,
good
Very
research.
smart. Like it.
yeah.
Osteopubis, mate. One of the questions that I constantly get when I'm out having a coffee or having a beer in Wellington is, why isn't Corbin starting? Like, what's going on? And the only answer I've been able to give so far is that you're managing minutes and that there's some long-term injury that needs to be considered. So you want to jump down into what you've got going on here, because this is actually something that Oldie's gone through, as you touched on.
Yeah, well, osteospeuchus, the thing with it is it's with load, like the more load, the more inflammation it gives, and it can fluctuate so much where like you feel $1 million and you're like, yeah, I can play 90 minutes, like this is great. And then the next day you can feel like shit, like I can't move properly, you know, like it really affects your movement. Um, I've been, I think last November I got it, so I felt it a little bit last November, which is what, a year ago now. Um, but I obviously had a 1 year deal with the Phoenix. I started to work my way into the starting lineup. I wasn't going to tell them that I've got all this pain in my body, you know. So um, for me, I obviously regret not telling them that I had all this pain because it flared up and got quite bad towards the end of the season. But the other part of me is like, would I have got my 2 year deal if I had told them, you know? And I wasn't playing for them every week. So yeah, it's a bit hard.
In all of that, because we have a few youngsters watching, what would your advice be to them? Do you conceal the fact that you're in agony, or do you be up front with the coaches and management and say, I'm going through this and look out for me?
My lawyer brain is like red flagging hard right now, Corbin's.
Yeah, honestly, like for me, I would tell them and work on how to monitor it rather than not telling them at all. And then they don't know that you're in pain, you know. How's a physio meant to just look at you and know you're in pain?
Yeah.
I would tell them, but I wouldn't tell them how extreme it was, you know. Like I would tell them and let them know, but make sure that they can monitor me enough for me to not really flare up and get sore.
Because I think we've all been there, like you've been injured or slightly injured carrying
this
a
is a
niggle,
good point.
and you play through the pain. Are you going to do yourself more damage? Yes or no? Should you be up front? Yes or no? It's a really interesting sort of dilemma for a footballer to have, Spoon.
And in professional football, correct me if I'm wrong here, Corbin, but I would say that you are probably only ever like 60, 70% fully fit. And what I mean by that is you're carrying a knock. You might be carrying 2 or 3. And it's about managing those. And to your point, your best ability is your availability. So there's always that pull to ensure that you want to make yourself as available as possible for the starting 11. And in the past, I've played through, broken fingers aren't a big deal for goalkeepers. I'm sure, mate, that you've got osteopubis, but there will be other things that are going on as well.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like footballers, you always have knocks, like you said. You always have little sore muscles and even fatigue. You know, fatigue gets you sometimes. And I remember one time back in, I was young, but you remember NTC and all those things, like NTC where you do like the little training camps out in Auckland and King's College. I actually had such a sore leg bone, like so sore, and I just went to the NTC camp anyway because, like I wanted to show myself, and eventually I got it x-rayed after the NTC camp and there was a little fracture in there.
Yeah.
So like footballers, I think, just they push through anything, you know, because they want to make a career out of their, you know, football, and yeah, sometimes you just need to work through pain.
On the inflammation and how debilitating it can be at times, was it something that just affected your football playing and training, or was it, I mean, we all know of your love of the gym and doing extras in there.
Yeah.
Did it affect that? Was it affecting your everyday life as well, like just strolling around town, going to get groceries? What was the extent of it at its peak?
When it was at its worst, like getting up out of bed was very sore. Like lifting my body weight out of bed, sneezing felt like someone was stabbing me in the stomach.
Wow.
You know, like there's actually more to it than people think. It's not just football movements; it's everyday movements. Like, I couldn't even hold a plank for like more than 10 seconds without like.
Neither can I.
Same, Corban.
Oh, that's
like,
what I've got.
you
I've
know.
got what Corban has.
yeah, sure. No, but you know, back before I could hold it for, you know, like minutes on end. So
Humble brag.
it's no, but you know, like the comparison
Yeah,
between
yeah.
the two, you know, but yeah, humble brag, like you said. No, it did really affect me a lot, actually.
The one I love, Corban, is we were getting a presentation by a physio, and he was talking about curved spines. And one of the coaches, I won't mention him because hopefully we're going to get him on and he can actually talk to this. He's like, I think I've got that. And he was expecting the boys to be like, oh, okay, how's that going? And no one said anything. It's like, bro, you're just putting on weight after you finish playing. Like, this is the curved back is not translating into the stomach, man. Grow up.
Oh, man. In the gym, I mean, look, we've all seen the social posts, mate. You're getting huge, you're getting ripped. The diet is incredible. You're eating all kinds of eggs all day, every day.
Yeah.
When I was young, I don't know about you, Spoon, but there was a lot of messaging around eggs and how many you were allowed each day or each week.
You were more into conditioner, given your Barnet, weren't you?
I'm talking about egg consumption, mate. Right?
Cholesterol.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
yeah. So they would say, look, you can only have one egg a day, but you're having how many eggs a day, Corban?
It varies depending on what I feel like, but yeah.
What's the average?
The morning. Oh, it's like 6 to 8 eggs a day at least. Yeah.
That is
Holy
expensive
shit.
in this economy, mate.
I know. Thankfully, I get free eggs. So
Oh, go on.
From who?
Yeah,
Give them a shout out.
Yeah,
Give them a
free
shout out.
EG Egg New Zealand, you know, like I tag them on my story every fortnight. They give me 200 eggs. So
Every
Jesus.
fortnight.
every month they give me 200 eggs.
Right.
Yeah.
How
But I
about
get them
50 eggs a
delivered
week?
every fortnight, so
Jeez.
100 each fortnight.
Holy.
Yeah.
How do they turn up on the doorstep?
They get delivered to our training ground, and everyone tries to steal them, you know, because this economy is
hide them?
crazy for eggs.
Do you have to hide them?
Yeah, honestly, I do. I have to hide. I grab them and go straight away.
Okay, so hold up. I want to know what 200 eggs looks like first and foremost. Like, is it coming in like the little containers, or is it just like one of those
He's
big
getting
shells?
a pallet.
Yeah,
So
Getting a pallet of eggs.
it's honestly, it's like that. I used to get like a big box with like 180 at once, and it was like 20 stacked on top of each other. But eventually, I changed it to every fortnight where I get 100, so I don't need to.
yeah,
look
smart
like
from
a
you. Yeah, good.
Psycho, you know, like
Yeah.
carrying 200 eggs around the street, you know, like it's a bit weird. You know,
It's
so.
risk management as well, mate. You drop 200 eggs. I mean, it's going to
Oh,
make a
yeah.
hell of a mess.
Honestly, yeah.
Has that happened? Have you dropped them at any point, mate?
No.
So we've got like 100% success rate on egg safety.
Yep. None. I haven't even cracked one. Yeah.
Only to make your scrambled
Yeah,
eggs
yeah, of
or
course.
poached
One
eggs or fried eggs.
Small follow-up question.
Oh, go for it.
Who is the person that's trying to steal the eggs in the team?
Do you want to guess or?
Dan Edwards.
Nah, it's actually Carlo.
Is it?
Yeah, Carlo's just.
Carlo's trying to get
he's a
huge
little
too.
shit.
Like that colour.
Yeah, exactly. And I think some of the boys ask for them, you know, but I eat them, so I'm not giving them away.
No. And so how do you eat them, Corban? Like, what's your preferred method
Vehicle.
of intake?
Quite like I just find it the easiest is to just fry them in the morning. You know, like I just have fried eggs and then 3 pieces of toast and
Sunny
slap
side
them
up.
all
What are
on
we
top.
talking about here, mate?
Yeah, sunny side up. I like them all yolky and everything.
Yeah,
so.
it's good.
Have you been tempted to go the Rocky Balboa route
No,
and just crack them into a
good
glass
Lord.
and drink it?
No, I've never done that. Like, and I won't. I don't think I'll ever do that because I find that foul. But for an egg video for them, I've actually eaten the entire egg and shell for a bit of promotion.
What?
Yeah, the video's not out yet, but I
Okay.
think they'll post it soon.
Something to look out for.
Hold up,
yeah.
yeah. What does shell taste like going down, mate? Because that
Oh,
I
it's-
avoid that like the plague. I hate.
No, yeah, yuck. It wasn't pleasant, you know.
Was it a hard-boiled egg or just raw?
No, it was completely raw, shell and everything.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure when they're gonna post it, but you got to do what you got to do for some free eggs. So.
well, not a free egg, 200 per month, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did you see my apology last week that I issued? You probably didn't. Did you watch last week's episode of the Unused Subs where I apologised for saying that you got smoked by Michael Woud?
Not advisable
Yeah.
reaching out to people on social media either, Corbin. I hope this isn't a common occurrence.
I don't think I got smashed, eh?
Okay, so that's
Well, I said
right.
smoked.
You haven't
but-
answered the
Okay,
question.
smoked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
But
a different. I think DeVries got smashed.
yeah, he got
Yeah,
absolutely removed in the words of
yeah,
Michael
removed
Woud.
was the word. You see, yeah.
Yeah, but that whole episode, it's obviously built up your legend, your legendary status. What was it like in the moment? Because I think most of us would give a left leg or a right arm to be in that moment,
Yeah.
in front of a big crowd in a New Zealand derby, and then the spotlight falls to you and you're going one-on-one with Dan Hall. The red card is produced. What is happening to you internally?
Yeah, the emotions.
Like the adrenaline and all that. Like, give it to us, mate. What is it like?
Yeah, it's you can't even explain the feeling. Like it's just there's something in you that just like it almost feels like you're on fire, eh? Like, and I used the emotion to try wind up the team as much as I could, and I used that by telling him to, go down into the back into his changing room, and
I don't think you said that,
eventually-
Corbin, but we'll move on.
there's a few words that I'll leave out. But,
Yeah, good.
Yeah, yeah, but I think I wound up the keeper, and then he got involved, and then all of them got involved, and I think I did just enough to not get booked and to sort of rattle the game and rattle the moment at the time. So
Is that the
Yeah.
derby though, Corbin? Because you've talked about not being unable to define this, but is that everything else in and around that moment? Is it Auckland against Wellington? Is it searching for that first win? Is it being 2-1 down at that point in time and breaking through and having such a big moment for you denied? Is it kind of all of those things in the aggregate and they're just punched into yourself as you have to respond?
yeah, I think it is like sort of to do with the derby, but honestly, in any game like that, if we're trailing like that, I'd probably do the same thing if it was Melbourne Victory, anyone like that, because it sort of gives the team some energy, something to bounce off and the crowd to lift up with. And I think, yeah, like I said, any game, I can use that energy to just really get the game going,
Heading into this derby this week in Auckland, and we know that you've grown up on the peninsula and you've played for Birkenhead, and now you're
Just to confirm,
essentially
it's
coming,
not part of the North Shore, just so we're clear.
Yeah, but you're essentially coming home to play against Auckland FC, right? And to think that you may not be received that well by the Auckland FC faithful in the stands.
What shirt's Mum wearing?
She's wearing Ben Old's shirt.
Hibiscus Coast. You can spot her out a mile away.
Green shirt, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
green Saint-Etienne Old 11
Yeah.
on the back. Yeah. So, with all that considered, and especially, like, you chuck in the mix the fact that the last time you guys played at Mount Smart Stadium, you did get smoked. I don't think you can debate that. We can
there's no
debate
denying it.
Michael Woud versus Corban Piper, but
Yeah,
6-1 is pretty impressive from Auckland's point of view. So with all that considered, have you given a lot of thought about how you're going to feel entering into that cauldron on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, like I'm expecting quite a lot of, hate from the supporters, and that's just football, but honestly, it gives me a real drive to do better, like I almost want to use that hate and bring the hate energy and use it as positive energy for the team. I'm expecting, lots of things. Obviously, I'm expecting to get a good kick from some of the Auckland FC boys. Like, there's no doubt of that, But yeah, that's just part of the rivalry, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Hate's a really strong word when you hear it out of context.
One of the strongest.
And I think if you're outside of football and you might be like a rugby dad that's listening to this, or you're just bypassing as a rugby league fan and you see this online, but in a football context, in this context of the derby, it is hate though, isn't it? It is more than just confrontation.
Yeah, 100%. Like, after that Auckland game, I think there was 13 messages that I received from random people, and like I said, like, they're not nice messages. So I'm well aware what all those fans are thinking, and I think my mate sent me a screenshot of the Auckland FC like supporters page on Facebook. There was a big post about me and lots of comments giving me hate comments, So it is the word I would use, but I'm expecting it, and I know it's part of the game. It's purely out of emotion, and I get it. I've been a football fan my whole life, I support Manchester United. I get very frustrated with it. There we go. It's all good. And at times I've been really frustrated, so I get it.
Yeah, it's interesting because a number of weeks ago, nobody was available. It was like the long weekend, Labour weekend. And so I went one-on-one with Chiefy for the podcast, and we spoke about the online abuse and how a lot of it is just not worth your time. And he ended up getting off of social media because the abuse was just unrelenting. And here he is, a guy just out there trying to do his job. And I don't know if that is justified in any way, that people would throw death threats his way just because he's trying to coach a football team. So I'm really intrigued by the fact that you're actually soaking it up and loving it. Like, do you have to have a thick skin to not feel bad about like reading these comments, because they can be cutting, Corban?
Yeah, honestly, sometimes, obviously some of the comments like that you'll read, if you're in a bad mood, it'll rattle you a bit. But no, like I said, I use it as fuel, and I'll always have my whole life. Like, it's just something that I do, and I guess some people are designed that way and some people aren't. But then again, I think it's where being a Burko boy, I just truly think that it's just how I was raised. We were always hated, Burko. We weren't a lovely team to go to. You'd definitely get a
so good beating Burko when it happened, mate. Yeah, I'm leaning into it. It's a compliment.
Exactly, So I think I've always been in a hated team, from other clubs, and I guess I just use it as fuel.
I just on that, mate. Create a cauldron, create a spectacle, keep it in the grounds. There is a line though, mate, and just for everyone off the back of this weekend, mate, there's no need to get on the phone and message a player when you are when you are in the thick of all that emotion. Just turn the tap off.
But I mean, that message won't get through to 100% of the people out there watching.
It's a reasonable message delivered to sometimes an unreasonable cohort of people, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, I love the approach that you're taking, Corban, because you're just like, well, bring it on, and I'm going to use it as cannon fodder. It's going to build me up on game day. I think that the most important thing for anybody out there, before they make a comment, whether it's positive, negative, or whatever, is that people like Corban and his teammates and the team that he's facing this weekend, all they are doing is their job. Yeah. And you might not like the way that they're going about their business, but it is, at the end of the day, their job. And whether you're combative like Corban Piper or whether you're a creative like Carlo Armiento, you are out there playing football at the end of the day. Yet you can be passionate, you can get in behind your team, but come on, let's not descend into...
Have a beer at the end of the day, mate. Like, set yourself up to do that, right? I liked how you pointed to me when you said creative. That got my hopes up, by the way.
Creative with your words more than your actions on the field.
It's just good. It made me feel good. But yeah, Corban, so heading into this weekend, the energy's high. How's the crew feeling down there, mate?
Yeah, off the back of the win against Adelaide, boys are buzzing. Like there's a real buzz in the changing room, and we're all so looking forward to the derby, and we really want to get them back. Like we definitely owe it to our fans to take a win away from Auckland, especially away. It would, mean the world to the club. I know it would, and us boys, and hopefully we can get the 3 points and keep rolling on.
Just on that, mate, you've talked there about the connection to the fans. And I understand that Chiefy got the boys into Sky Stadium and sat them down in the yellow fever seats. What was the purpose of that?
I think it was seeing the pitch from the Fever's perspective, and Chiefy went on to talk about like how much the games actually mean to some people that we don't know. Like it really means, it's what people look forward to every week, and what they what they want to do in the weekend is come pay money to watch us, and just sitting up there was getting their point of view. And it was actually really good, and I think it was a great way to connect us with how the fans feel, and he spoke to us about 30 minutes about how much it means and everything like that. But
how will those fans feel if you guys go 0-5? How will you feel if you go 0-5?
Obviously there'll be a lot of hurt, and you'd expect a lot of frustration from the fans, and fair enough, like going 0-5 against them would be not what anyone wants, but I think there's a real positive energy in the changing room at the moment, and hopefully we can turn this around.
Well, positive energy in your change room, and maybe slightly negative just starting to creep in with Auckland FC. Yeah. The last couple of games haven't gone the way that they would have wanted, and you can see the frustration, especially at the weekend against Newcastle Jets in the pouring rain. You could see what it meant to those Auckland players to have lost at home. Heading into the derby.
Football moves so fast. What was it, 2 weeks ago we were talking about a Wellington Phoenix side that might have had PTSD from last season, and now it's changed, and like Auckland has been talked about, as you say, with a little bit of anxiety. But
mate, if the Phoenix win this weekend, Spoon, they're level on competition points with Auckland FC.
I know, by the way, there's only 6 points between 11th and 1st. The competition is so flat at
crazy.
the moment. It is absolutely mental. But that was the thing I was reflecting on coming into this one. I was like, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about an Auckland side that's travelling along really nicely, and the Wellington Phoenix, not sure how that's going. And then all of a sudden, you get this ambitious performance against Adelaide. And I think the other thing, mate, is the nullifying of the Adelaide Arsenal. We only really saw Ethan Alagich pop up in that last 15 minutes. So that was one of the nature of the performance was one of the things that I was like, put a smile on my face.
So despite the 0-4 record to the moment, or to this point in time, Corban, you actually enter this fixture on Saturday with like quite a bit of confidence, you and your teammates.
100%. We all knew that winning against Adelaide would definitely play a big what's the word I'm looking for? Like a big part in being positive towards the derby. And even though we lost the last one to them at home, to 9 men, like it's very frustrating. But we all knew that if we can turn it around, get 3 points against Adelaide, we can use that positive energy to go into the derby.
By the way, I've been referring to this derby as the 6th derby. And
it's the 5th one.
Some of the interviews I've been doing, and I've just realised it is the 5th derby.
Yeah, because they do 3 per season. There was 3 last season. Now there'll be another 3.
Yeah. 4th is the 5th.
So this is the 5th.
Chunt.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Probably a good place to finish there, Corban.
Well, just before we do depart, though, Corban, and thank you so much for your time on the Unused subs, how does the 5th derby look for Corban Piper? Are you going to be that agitator again? Who are you looking to niggle? and do you pop up with the match-winning goal?
Oh, well, all those I'm just going to do my role. I'm going to come on. I'm going to try to impact the game like last time. Obviously, a match winner would be, unreal. But, we'll just have to see. I can't predict the future, but I'll definitely give it my best.
Brenton Van Nistelrooy is going to be so happy with that answer because it was beautifully media trained. The execution was lacking at the start, but we'll get back to that next time.
So now that we've got that one out of the way, what do you actually want to do? I want to smash over Dan Hall. I'm going to stick it right up Nando Peinecker, and Michael Woud versus Corban Piper round 2 is going to be a blockbuster.
I can't wait for this derby. Mate. I think this is going to be the best derby, Corban. So, mate, hopefully you guys can play your part in making it an absolute spectacle for everybody.
Last one was hard to top, but we'll see.